Christmas here.
Either way, this is a really challenging and fun boss
Christmas
fight.
tree will be
No
up,
boxers, munchers, or skewers.
and it will be the biggest this year.
Our next one is against the Wiggler mini boss. As you can see, there's absolutely no way to get to this Wiggler, even though Mario needs to get a key from it. However, on top of the Wiggler is a seesaw with 2 munchers on each end. And since Mario knows munchers can crush Wigglers...
Sorry guys, I'm just on a murder spree for presents.
Eventually succeed in crushing the Wiggler. So there are a few important things to keep in mind with this design. 1, make it so munchers can go through, but Mario can't. Also, while most enemies work with this design, I went with a Wiggler because it can be crushed, it can't be hit by Mario, and somewhat follows him, so you can try to bait the Wiggler into the munchers. The final real thing of note is that ground pounding can sometimes cause some issues, so I'd recommend using this in a theme that isn't Mario U. The boss fight is pretty good when used in a level based around seesaws, munchers, or even Wigglers. This is designed for one of my levels, so here's the code if you want to try it out. I'll have a code on screen whenever I talk about one of my
46 presents.
So our next one,
And I already
found
found 12.
However, Mario sees that Boom Boom has a muncher on his head as a crown, meaning he can't, or at least it's very hard to damage him. So what's Mario going to do to escape? Well, Mario sees that there are on-off switches on each side of the room, and a muncher below ready to crush an enemy that will presumably give Mario a key. When he hits the first on-off switch, however, it gets blocked off, which means he has to run back and forth until he eventually is able to get a key and leave. So for this boss fight, you were able to adjust how many times Mario is required to hit the on-off switch by just adding more blocks to the bottom. That's how it works for your level. Also, it's pretty important that the on-off switches get blocked off after you hit them, as you don't want the player to just camp in one spot. Final note is that while I did use Boom Boom, you can really put mostly anything in here besides Bowser, as it would get pretty cramped with him. But if you do use Boom Boom, keep in mind that his attacks vary between styles, and I thought his attacks in Mario U worked best. This boss fight works well in an on-off based level, or even just like a normal castle level. My next one was used in my level 1-Up's Revenge. Mario has found himself stuck on a claw above the death pit, but it gets even worse. Cannons then begin to shoot at him, and Mario has to avoid their shots until eventually the skewer activates the on-off block, closing the pit and destroying the cannon. For this one again, there isn't really much to mention, besides that you are able to adjust the difficulty by adding or removing cannons, or by extending the skewer timer by just adding more hard blocks in front of it. Also, I suggest adding dotted line blocks in front of the skewer, so that it won't activate the on-off block again. Also, Mario U with the wall jumps can make it to where you don't have to use a claw, but if you want the player to stay on the claw, then I suggest using one of the other 3 main themes. For our next room, Mario has found himself trapped once again, although for some odd reason, the walls are bullet blasters. But there isn't any time to ponder at that, as he sees that he's trapped with a Boom Boom with a muncher crown again. As Mario tries to figure out a way to defeat Boom Boom, the arena suddenly gets smaller and smaller. Eventually, the arena gets incredibly small until the on-off blocks are activated, crushing the Boom Boom and the Bill Blasters. So how does this work? Well, the Bill Blasters fire out the bombs, which blow up the hard blocks that are in their way, and since they're on conveyors, they'll move closer to the center.
Oh, that's what I had to do.
Wow. On-off blocks. Not only does that kill the blasters and Boom Boom, but they also activate an unseen contraption that makes sure Mario doesn't get trapped in the on-off block. That activates whenever a blue dotted line blocks are filled in. This boss fight works well in all themes, and this works well with many different types of enemies, really besides Bowser. If you want to use Bowser Jr. though, make a Piranha Plant his crown, as if he backs up into a Bill Blaster, it will actually stop them from moving. Also, the reason you're going to want the Bill Blasters to be crushed is because if the Bill Blasters just go off into a hole, then there's a chance they'll fire out a bomb and kill the player. Either way, I actually really like this boss fight, and it's based on the level I made it back for a 10-item challenge in Mario Maker 2. Our next boss battle is for the 3D World theme, where with the cat suit, you're able to climb semi-solids. So as we can see, Mario needs to get red coins to be able to get out of here through the locked warp box. Unfortunately, they're trapped inside a hard block shell. However, using the bullets shooting at him, Mario is able to lure the bullets into breaking the block and allowing him to get all of the red coins. Now, the way this is set up is pretty simple. Just line the walls with Bill Blasters, just not too many, and also line the floor with spikes to avoid any potential cheaters. You could also make it a void, however I'd rather use spikes. Also, this is optional, but I included an extra power-up in my version when I uploaded this level. However, you can easily just replace it with another pink coin to make it a bit more challenging. This boss fight, of course, only works in 3D World since Mario is only able to climb semi-solids in that scene, and bullets can only break hard blocks in that scene. Also, when using music, attach the music to a bill blaster for a smooth track of play throughout the fight. Also, using warp boxes work way better than doors, so you definitely utilize them. This works well for any level based around bullets, or in this case, my level the cactus. Mario has then found himself in a tall tower with a thwomp at his side. What Mario has to do is race the thwomp down the tower to be able to get to the exit door. Once the thwomp hits the bottom, it will activate on-off blocks, making it to where Mario can't reach the exit. The level I made is pretty simple, however, whatever you decide to do on the inside can be changed to be more challenging or you make it easier. You just going to want to make sure that Mario is able to beat the thwomp and it isn't too horribly challenging. Also, with my design, Mario is able to retry his challenge if he fails. To do this, you're going to need to have the question mark blocks that the thwomp destroys be full of vines, as they'll respawn after being destroyed. Then you're going to want to make a small contraption like this to shift the dotted line blocks back to their original state. This only activates if the swamp did actually activate the on-off switches originally. Also, make sure you can't go backwards to the reset door. The setting is completely optional, so you don't have to include it if you don't want to, but the option is always there. There's really a lot of creative things you can do with the swamp racing setup, and I haven't actually to see more. This can be used in all things effectively, and I would say you should use this setup to base a whole level around it. Also, make sure it's placed in a vertical sub area if you want it to be long. We then get to the final boss of my level, Seesaw Mario. We again see the world-famous Munchers round Boom Boom, and we have to ride the seesaw with him. Below us are Munchers. Since we aren't able